It's an ambitious 9-day trip. Saudi Arabia, Israel, a meeting with the Pope, and attending his first global meetings, the NATO summit and the Group of Seven forum. U.S. President Donald Trump's foreign policy advisors have cast the trip as a way to turn the page from his nationalist campaigning to global governing.
General, if you could talk first about the evolution from the way the president campaigned, which was a more unilateral foreign policy, to this multilateral engagement that you're emphasizing.
America first didn't mean America not leading, right? So for America to secure and advance its interests, that requires American leadership. And so the president's leadership has been welcomed in all of the places that he'll be visiting on this trip.
In Saudi Arabia, Trump will meet with the Gulf Cooperation Council and convene a group of more than 50 Muslim leaders to fight terrorism. According to a senior administration official, the Saudis will agree to host an anti-radicalization center and create a NATO-like alliance of Arab nations committed by treaty to each other's security. The White House will also ask the Muslim leaders to sign a pledge to bar funding extremist organizations. But experts warn getting agreement across sectarian lines will be a tall order.
The Sunni powers like Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states and Israel are at least as focused on the terrorism that's emanating from Hezbollah, which is a proxy for the Iranians.
After stops in Jerusalem and Rome, Trump will join 27 other Western leaders in Belgium for the NATO summit. Organizers are reportedly preparing to simplify the conversation for Trump's relative foreign policy and experience. Trump, who once called NATO obsolete before reversing himself, has pushed partners to increase funding, and according to a senior administration official, he is willing to leave the 68-year-old alliance if that doesn't happen.
L'accord de Paris pour le climat est accepté.
That's not the only bombshell being prepared for America's international partners. A White House official confirms to CGTN that the Trump administration has determined the historic Paris Climate Agreement is not legally binding. Trump is considering changing U.S. emissions reduction targets to protect American industry. Newly sworn in French President Emmanuel Macron used his congratulatory call from Trump to pressure him not to abandon the accord. Trump will end his trip in Sicily and the G7 summit, where his stance on climate change and support for trade protections clashes with the other members. CGTN has learned Trump is questioning whether the G7 can be productive without including both China and Russia. But it's Trump's relationship with Russia that's expected to dominate his private conversations. The FBI and several congressional committees are probing Trump's staff's alleged connections to the Kremlin. One day before leaving on his trip, Trump said he considers the investigation a distraction.
I hate to see anything that divides. I'm fine with whatever people want to do, but we have to get back to running this country really, really well.
One White House official says Trump's two top foreign policy objectives are spreading peace and increasing global trade. Steps can be taken on both of these during his trip if the U.S. president can prevent further distractions. Jessica Stone, CGTN, Washington.